Hello and welcome to this week's video. Let's take a moment and do a real quick pulse check. How you feeling? Getting awfully close to the holidays. There's a lot to take on, and I just want to gauge your state of mind and your state of emotions at this point. And there's a reason for this, because the subject of this week's video is as much for me as it is for you, and it is 5 ways to keep your sanity during the holidays. Now, let me just state off the top here, I am not a Grinch by any means. I love the beauty and the joy of the holiday season, but it has been at times in my past sabotaged by taking on too much, by being overextended, overexhausted, overly stressed to the point where we lose the joy in the holiday. So the subject of this video is really to bring us back to center and to get us practicing healthy habits so that we can enjoy these next couple of months with friends, with family, whatever the lay of the land is going to look like. But I do believe there are some really important strategies to put into place so that we are not whipped, wiped, and worn out. And you know, it's funny because as you start to see all of the TV commercials about the holidays, you know, images of the family gathered around the Thanksgiving table with this beautiful turkey and sweet potato and veggies, and everybody's in their cute little sweaters and they're laughing. Ha ha ha, isn't it joyful this time of year? Ha ha ha. What they don't show is the behind the scenes. It's like childbirth. You know, it's all fairy tales, unicorns, and rainbows. And nobody tells you about the sleepless nights, sore nipples, and the fact that you're in a house robe all day. What I want to do is deal with the reality so that we can have beauty in the holiday season. But I think that rules and parameters really need to apply here. So let me launch into my top 5 strategies for keeping the sanity during this holiday season. Number 1, and I'm really big on this, planning. Make a plan with your family. Decide who's going to host this year. If you are having a Thanksgiving get-together or a Christmas get-together, what do the travel plans look like or not look like? What parties must you attend? Which ones can you say no to? What about holiday cards? Are you going to be taking pictures of the family and sending those out? I really think it's important to kind of map out what the season looks like, get it down on paper so that it goes from being just sort of scattered random thoughts through the head to actual tangible ideas, something that you can see, something that you can look at, map out, and really think about and decide, okay, is this a healthy amount to take on? Is this doable, or is this going to sabotage my joy through the season? Planning and preparing is key. Make sure you have help. Make sure that if you are hosting, you've got people to help prep, that you're setting aside time for shopping and cooking and doing, that you're enlisting the help of children or grandchildren to set the table. But I think all of this strategizing can really make the holidays a much better experience. And if you do feel like you're taking on quite a bit, at least make sure that there are enough gaps in between each event where you can really catch your breath, decompress, and it's not just one big run-on sentence, one thing just happening after the other, happening after the other, and it's a snowball effect. So give yourself some good pacing, good planning, and good preparation for what the next couple of months will look like. Number 2, set a budget this year, including what you're spending on gifts or hosting expenses, decorating, or charitable giving. You know, it's safe to say that the holidays can drain families financially. In fact, there have been numerous studies on the news showcasing the fact that the one thing people are most anxious about during the holiday season is overspending. So again, just like you're planning and we're planning what it is that we're going to take on, we also need to plan what our budget is going to be this year. Nick and I have already started the conversation. How much are we spending on cards? How much are we spending on gifts for the kids? How much are we spending on travel if there is any? But budgeting, planning, and preparing is really important so that you can set aside the funds to be able to handle everything and do it so that you're not stretching yourself thin, or worse, overloading yourself with credit card debt that you're going to have to tackle come January and February of next year. That's just going to hit you like a ton of bricks. So do some real financial planning here. sometimes I think we get so caught up in the material of the season. Little Johnny wants this, and Susie wants this, and it's, about the latest and the greatest and the toys and the clothes and the this and the that. If you have a talent or a craft, it might be great to tap into that. If you like to bake and make treats and sweets, bake things for people. If you like to do handmade items, to me, there's nothing more sentimental and personal than a gift that was made by somebody. It's not about the dollar value, but it's about the effort and the joy in the making, the doing, and the giving. So if that lies within you, use that so that you're not having to spend money, but you're actually creating in your own way and giving that gift of creativity, which I personally think is the absolute coolest. If you have a lot of family members, instead of having to buy something for everybody, maybe do a drawing where everybody's picking one name out of a hat so you can focus in on that person and not have to spend for everybody. Also, if you do have shopping to do, I've gotten a lot better. I've done last minute shopping. I will never do it again. I'm getting really good at online shopping where it all shows up in packages, sometimes even gift wrap and at the door. So tackle your shopping early. That way you're not dealing with the traffic, the crowds, the parking situation. If you're a savvy online shopper like yours truly, start getting on the internet, take advantage of Black Friday deals and sales and internet sales, and all of that stuff is really starting to come into play. So plan and prepare, but set your budget, make your plan and stick to it so that you're not financially strapped come the start of 2020. Number 3 on my list is don't feel like a heel for saying no. It's amazing. One of the smallest words in the dictionary is one of the hardest words to emit. No, I can't. I simply cannot take on one more thing. And as women, we tend to be people pleasers, so it's really hard to say the word no, but you're going to lose your mind if you don't. I know I have in previous holidays, and so I will sit and decide as a part of my planning with my family what it is that we can do party-wise, engagement, whatever it may be, and where we can say no, where we need to. And especially with family coming to town and things like that, we don't want to overload during that time. So don't feel guilty about it. You're doing yourself a favor, you're doing your family members a favor, because you will be way more at peace, way more present, and feeling happier and more joyful instead of completely stressed out, being the martyr. Oh, another party to go to. Well, I said yes, I'm going, but I'm miserable. Nobody likes a miserable party goer. Ask for understanding, and you might be surprised, how many people actually are and are probably in the same boat as well. So, I think people will give you some empathy. Also, another thing is when people come over, family members, sometimes family dynamics can really stress people out. And so don't be afraid to set a code of conduct for your guests. Sometimes it might be wise to say, park hot button issues like politics and religion or the crazy family member at the front door. And that's going to stay out of the conversation this year, just to keep things smooth and peaceful. But again, you set the stage, you say no where necessary to make it function and to work for you. Number 4 on my list is keep your healthy habits. Boy, there's nothing worse than starting the new year 5 to 10 pounds heavier and feeling miserable. Your healthy habits will also better enable you to deal with the stresses of the holiday to help you get things done. So make sure that you're continuing to eat well if that is something that you've incorporated in your life. I know holiday parties mean fat loaded, carb loaded, sugar loaded snacks and treats. And so if you need to have some vegetables or nuts or whatever you need before the party so that you fill up a little bit and all of those goodies aren't so tempting. Speaking of treats, make sure that you're getting plenty of sleep. That's another part of that self-care. Rest is critical. Get plenty of Z's to get you through, because sleep deprivation usually leads to poor habits like, oh, I'm too tired to work out, and oh, I'm so hungry, I'm just going to eat this pizza and chase it with a truffle. So again, make sure your self-care is prioritized. If you need to, take a walk, do some meditation, if you need a massage, whatever it may be, but don't let go of that through the holidays. So that way you'll be able to start 2020 feeling really good about yourself, and it will just be a continued push instead of a total reset button. And number 5, last on my list, probably should be number 1 on the list, and that is stay grateful. we all have things and areas where we can offer gratitude and to find the good in our lives. And I personally, I like to start my day in prayer and with my gratitude list of what I'm grateful for in my life. I think it's a great way to start my day. It also keeps my head in the game and in the right place. All the things that are working, even when I'm tired, even when I'm stressed and overextended, there is so much to be grateful for. And the other component of that is I bet we could all find somebody who would give anything to switch lives with us. People out there who are lonely, don't have family, are depressed, are lost, and they would give anything to be in your chaos at the moment. So we have to remember that in the midst of it all, it's really good. And all we're trying to do here is to better structure all of this so that we don't lose ourselves through the process and we can be happy and joyful in a season that is meant to be about family, joy, faith, all of that. So it's all about keeping our eye really where it needs to be and not getting distracted by unnecessary things that really deplete us of who we should be. So that's how I like to look at it. You know, with that gratitude list, God is good and He deserves our great big shout of praise as often as we can offer it. So start each day and end each day with your gratitude list. And I promise you, it will make you feel so much better about everything else. So these are my top 5 ways to keep your sanity during the holidays. If you have some tricks and things that you use during the season or any season to keep your head in place, please share it with the community. I know everybody would benefit from your words of wisdom as well. So I thank you in advance for your comments. I really, really hope that the holiday season is going to be a fun and a joyful one for you and filled with lots of memories. That's what it's really all about, is creating memories and moments, the 2 big M's. And so I wish you well as you launch into it. And I hope that, like me, I'm going to be putting these into play and that we will find this to be a more enjoyable season. So I wish you boldness and blessings always. And I will see you next Thursday at 1 o'clock. You know there's a Thanksgiving giveaway coming up, don't you? Oh yeah, it's going to be good.